But before Caitlin Clark's season-ending injury, WNBA tickets were averaging $89. The moment she went down, price crashed nearly 30%, plummeting to $62 a seat. That's kind of crazy. And there's a lot of reasons for this, but obviously the biggest reason is
the WNBA is facing what can only be called a total ratings and financial freefall. Commissioner Kathy Angelbert can only watch as the league's brief rise unravels into a nightmare with the speed of a balloon deflating in seconds.
WNBA and the Indiana Fever did not want people to know that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for the season. I can tell you, from the very day that they decided to let that go public, everything has dropped off a cliff. Views on this channel, the television ratings, the interest, Thanos snapped out of existence. People were trying to hang on to the possibility this whole time. Look, so many people stayed engaged with the team because they thought the cavalry was coming.
The breaking point came when the Indiana Fever announced that superstar guard Caitlin Clark is done for the rest of the 2025 season. With their lone ratings magnet sidelined, the WNBA is being forced to confront an ugly truth. Without their golden goose, the league looks more like an overpriced sideshow than a product fans are lining up to watch.
Late July, the WNBA proudly flaunted ratings for the All-Star Game, which drew 2.2 million viewers. Of course, they conveniently failed to mention that ratings were down 36% from the record ratings that Caitlin Clark pulled the year before. Early August, ESPN pointed out that the Seattle Spankers and the Indiana Felines, without Caitlin Clark, drew 1.6 million on ABC. ESPN claimed that WNBA ratings were up 20% over last year, mostly without Caitlin Clark playing. But over the last 3 or 4 weeks, both the WNBA and the media have been strangely silent. I wonder...
The numbers rolling in after Clark's injury news are devastating. Overnight, WNBA playoff ticket prices collapsed by roughly 30%, with certain games plunging from more than $200 to a shocking $25.
The WNBA are currently treading dangerous waters. It's sharks out there, y'all. It is sharks out there in the deep ends of that water. Reality is hitting, and the playoffs have the potential to expose even more. Ratings could potentially crash in this year's WNBA playoffs without Caitlin Clark. Networks have their eyes peeled to what is going on, and ticket prices plummeted 30% while Caitlin Clark was out with her.
The Indiana Fever had been riding premium ticket prices all year, but the moment Clark was injured, their road game prices nosedived by 71%, plummeting from $137 to $80. This isn't a small dip, it's a market crash that exposes the league's overwhelming dependence on a single star.
She's only on one team, but a very big chunk of the total attendance in WNBA is from the Indiana Fever. They have the second highest home attendance, and teams are literally moving arenas. So yeah, a lot of teams, whether it be the Lynx opening the Upper Bowl, whether it be the Wings, the Dream, the Sky, all of these teams moving games. All of these teams are moving games for the Indiana Fever, regardless of who it is. They all have to sell those seats. And a lot of people don't want to go, and it's super cheap. Like, it's a lot easier to fill a 10,000 seat arena without Caitlin Clark than to fill 20,000. So you're going to have to find a way to do it anyway, which is what a lot of people are going to be doing, trying to sell tickets.
The 2025 WNBA season was marketed as the league's grand breakthrough, record crowds, booming revenue, the whole victory parade. Instead, it's become a case study in how fast manufactured momentum collapses when it's built on a single shaky pillar. Clark, who never missed a game in college or her rookie year, managed only 13 appearances in 2025 thanks to a string of brutal injuries. Without her star power, the league that bragged about arriving is slipping right back into irrelevance, and the financial numbers make it undeniable.
WNBA playoffs begin on Sunday. Have you noticed that no one is talking about it? This time last year, the WNBA was dominating talk shows on ESPN and FS1. Content creators on YouTube were flooding the platform with WNBA videos. This year, it's complete silence. Obviously, ratings for the playoffs are going to be a flaming ass fire. But if I'm the WNBA, I am concerned.
If you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe. The most devastating part of this crisis isn't just the financial fallout, it's the total disappearance of sports media interest. Networks and commentators who spent months treating the WNBA like mandatory coverage are now backing away faster than ice cream freezes. The same voices who declared the league's breakthrough moment are already shifting back to sports that actually generate profit, leaving the WNBA scrambling for relevance with its main storyline gone. Outlets that once flooded their shows with segments during Clark's rise are now cutting back, and some have reportedly pulled WNBA content from prime slots entirely. The truth is simple: media follows ratings. And without Clark's viral moments and headline-making performances, the WNBA has lost its entry point into mainstream attention. Even ESPN, which poured resources into WNBA coverage during the Clark boom, is now forced to confront the uncomfortable reality that their entire strategy rested on one star's gravity.
We talked about Jason Whitlock disowning the WNBA. True to his word, hasn't spoken a lick about the WNBA since. Colin Cowherd trashing the WNBA. It's Caitlin Clark and only Caitlin Clark. Last year, he used to lead shows talking Caitlin Clark, talking WNBA. This year, with her injury, didn't even bother wasting more than 10 minutes talking about the WNBA this year. No Shanae, no Elle Duncan, no Monica McNutt, none of those appear.
The clearest sign of just how desperate the league has become is the total collapse in viewership without Clark on the floor. Games that once pulled in 1.8 million viewers with her are now struggling to scrape together 200,000. An 89% freefall that exposes just how inflated the league's popularity really was. Even so-called rivalry matchups like Chicago versus Indiana, which used to spark headline-grabbing ratings wars between Clark and Angel Reese, are now drawing audiences so tiny that networks don't even want to publish the numbers.
Nationally televised games have mysteriously disappeared. I knew the WNBA lived in a world of make-believe, but I never realized they were magicians. It seems when ratings fail to meet expectations, the WNBA makes ratings disappear faster than pants at the Butt Bongo Festival. Sports Media Watch, which is the go-to source for sports ratings, Sports Media Watch, they have not updated WNBA ratings since August.
The ticket price crash isn't limited to Indiana Fever games, it's league-wide. WNBA playoff matchups everywhere are seeing massive price drops as fans realize that without Clark, the product simply doesn't justify premium costs. Seats that went for $200 during peak Clark Mania are now selling for $25, and even at those bargain rates, arenas still can't fill up. This isn't a temporary dip. It's a fundamental market shift that threatens the league's entire business model. What makes it even worse is how preventable the whole disaster was. Clark's season-ending injury didn't happen out of nowhere. It was the direct result of a league that failed to protect its most valuable asset while letting a culture of excessive physicality grow unchecked. From quad issues in May to repeated groin injuries all summer, her body was worn down by constant targeting that the WNBA not only tolerated, but practically enabled. Instead of safeguarding their golden ticket, the league stood by and watched its financial future crumble under bad officiating and non-existent protection protocols.